I think that it's also, you have to take into consideration, although Trump won and Trump is controlling the cabinet and all these different people are going to be able to do his agenda, you still have almost half the country that didn't vote for him. So
Yeah.
and people are always tribal, and so they're going to be opposed to everything, even the good things that he's doing.
So I should watch the whole thing.
Oh my God, it's a masterclass. He just
He is
he's
impressive.
so good.
He is really good.
He's
Have
so
you
good.
has he been on your show?
Yes, yeah, he's great. Thank God for that guy.
You know-
He's so good at dismantling those dopey people.
Yeah.
And just breaking down, like she was like, this is a country built on immigrants. He's like, yes, that doesn't mean that 240 years later we have to have the dumbest immigration policy possible.
Well, and so actually in my forthcoming book that I'm trying to wrap up now, Suicidal Empathy, I have a section where I talk about these kinds of immigration arguments. And I use something from cognitive psychology. It's called categorization theory. How do you categorize something? So when people say, you're such a hypocrite, Gad, you're an immigrant. Why are you railing against immigrants? Your buddy Elon Musk is an immigrant. And so then I usually give them the following analogy, satirical analogy, but a valid one. I say, Fido the house cat is a feline. So is the male lion in the African jungle. They're both called feline. Therefore, I'm just as likely to want to snuggle when I go on a safari in Namibia next to the feline called the male lion. No, I recognize that even though they're both called feline, there is a distinction between the two. I don't categorize them as an exemplar of the same identity. Whereas what these people play is, you're an immigrant. Why do you rail against immigrants?
Right.
So isn't it astonishing that you could have such shoddy thinking that you're unable to recognize what I just said?
It is, but it's, again, it goes back to this tribal thing.
Yeah.
Is that people don't want to admit that having an open border is going to let in terrorists.
Yeah.
Because the previous administration, which was Democratic, had essentially an open border policy.
Yeah.
And it was based on this concept of empathy.
Yeah.
And you have sanctuary cities like New York. And then as soon as the mayor opposes it, well, guess what? He gets indicted. Like, it's all so transparent. It's so crazy. It's right in front of your face. And so I don't understand what they're doing. And, you know, there's a lot of arguments. They're doing it for cheap labor. They're doing it to get votes. They're doing it for whatever they're doing. You're making things less safe. And to oppose getting rid of cartel members and gang members and criminals and pedophiles and serial killers, to oppose getting rid of them and deporting them is just nuts.
Well,
doesn't make any sense.
The perfect example of this kind of parasitic idea and suicidal empathy is that bishop that just spoke, that kind of lectured Trump.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're your dishwashers. But nobody's questioning that there might be lovely people. That doesn't take away from the fact that you shouldn't have an open border policy.
Yeah.
But she's so committed to empathy that she views any position contrary to complete capitulation of your border as non-empathetic.